So, as promised, here's my Sunday stream. It's going to be a little bit more of a, I guess, sequel to yesterday or to one of the earlier ones I did this week. So, for those of you who aren't aware, this was a bit of a social experiment ever since Tuesday where I was trying to get a room for rent as well as, some steady income. And so, I've also in the past talked about a contemporary of mine who is similarly aged that I stopped speaking to quite some time ago, but that I'm very familiar with the life story of and various experiences of. And this person had a child they can't afford. And, that's not my opinion because I actually, due to how close I was with this person at one point, able to see their bank account and the lack of funds that were there. And it just didn't make any sense to me, nor many of my contemporaries, for this person to do that, which is why they were so mocked and derided when they got themselves knocked up at some point between December and the beginning of this year. And what I've noticed, and this is something that actually happened today, is that a lot of the same people who spoke so disparagingly about this person, again, rightfully so, purposefully having a kid they can't afford. You got a million and one ways to have birth control, and you do something like that. But what I noticed is that these people who spoke so disparagingly are just like patty caking this individual now and acting so friendly and nice, and it's really made me sick to my stomach. You had one person in particular who predicted that this individual, because of this kid they were having, would be on welfare. Really strong comment, something that I wouldn't even say because I know that the person at the very least works. That's one of the few things they've done that actually was of any decency. This same person who made that comment, who said that this parent will be on welfare, now has a picture of this person with the child's father and the child itself hanging right up in their room. And every time I walk in there, I just look at it and I go, I don't say anything to them, of course, because I'm not seeking to start a conflict, but I always scratch my head at that because I don't understand how you can go from a few months ago saying all this horrible stuff about this person, horrible stuff that, again, they were validated to say based off of what we knew about this person, their financial decisions, if you can call it that. And you went from that to now, framing up their picture and caressing the child, going, "Oh, he's so cute." Duh, 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 duh." And I can see where someone would say that's in the past, get over it. But my thing is this: I would have no problem. Let me say hello to Megumi. I think you should be asleep at this point. I would have no problem with treating the kid like you did nothing wrong because the kid has no control over who its parents are. So if you want to have the kid over and give it some food and all the other stuff, whatever. But as far as like going out of your way to assist, I mean, Jesus Christ, you have one of them who's been watching the child almost every other night, and I'm just sitting here scratching my head because it's like I'm dealing with, like I stepped into some alternate reality with like the people who were here critiquing this person a few months ago have now suddenly had their bodies taken over by these very supportive individuals who are seeking the best interest of everyone involved. And it's the craziest thing in the world because I feel as if I've been very consistent. I thought the person was an idiot back in January and before that actually. And now they're just an idiot who has a baby. That's the only difference. I've continued to not speak to them when they're in my presence. I look the other way. I mean, they did something that I think should make them a pariah. And the reason I'm like so adamant about sticking to my guns on this, not that I actually have any firearms, just I'm using that word as a frame of reference because I know people are dumb enough to think, oh my God, his guns. No, I'm referring to sticking to my position. is because I've seen people who will bring up something that I said 2, 3, 4 years ago, just like stay in the past, right? I have one person who, to this day, will bring up this one time that they took me to some place and I walked out of the vehicle. And I said, if someone can bring up something like that happened, again, several years ago at this point, I think I'm very well within my rights to speak disparagingly about a person wrecking someone's life before it even starts. But I've also been someone who's very honest about where I come from, in the sense that for me, it's not just, oh, this person made a dumb decision that will negatively. Now, that's the biggest reason. But, I've spoken about the fact that the chick stuff after maybe the end of high school was about getting with the long-term partner who you could eventually marry, hopefully not having to wait 10 years or some ridiculous length of time like that, and have a family with. And, we've described ad nauseum. Got your place back. Oh no, Ruben, I've recorded some stuff over here. I mentioned before that the Wi-Fi here does not work well on my computer, but it works good on the phone. So I'll put up some stuff this week, and I'll have this background because the setting is that. Oh, and by the way, I'm apparently getting it back on Tuesday. So you want to have long to wait for the Corbin documentary. Just letting you know. But again, I sat here with this goal in mind, and I've mentioned before how difficult it's been with the chick stuff and whatnot. We've talked ad nauseum about it. And so one day I just sat back and I said, when I saw this chick holding this kid, I said, let's just say screw genders for a moment, right? Two people living in the 21st century. How many times do you think she had to make a stupid account on Facebook or Twitter or any of these other websites, especially the ones that are designed for dating, to get with a man? How many times do you think she had to sit there and wonder if she would ever find someone? Very little, probably never at all. Especially since, from what I was told by her, the guy just came up and said, oh, I like you. And she's like, oh, great. Yeah, Mark, it's a temporary arrangement. Extremely unbalanced, that's for sure. That's what Megumi says. Yeah, but it goes beyond that, because you gotta understand, I will to this day, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this, with the lady lacking logic in one of our last interactions that we had before I just got rid of her. Same apartment. Well, I was never at an apartment, but whatever. With her, she had, in one of our last interactions, said something along the lines of, she believed I would cut off a woman who was interested prematurely. And it really pissed me off, not because that has any truth to it, it doesn't, but because she was literally saying that as someone who at that point I had spoken to for almost an entire year. Like, if speaking to you for 300 plus days is prematurely, I don't know what is. But that was, like a little weird comment, and I responded back to it with my vitriol and all the other great words that go in effect. Now, when this was said to her, I thought about, because at this point, this thing with this chick and this kid is like already established, right? And I get where people don't understand why this would bother me so much. So I'll try to keep explaining it. If you're a person who, let's say, wants, I don't know, an Xbox, right? And every time you go to the game store, the Xbox is sold out. You go to another game store, Xbox sold out. And then you see some individual who has one. You ask them, or rather, someone in front of you ask, how did you manage to get this system, this console? Something that, again, you as the person who wants an Xbox wanted for so long and just never seemed to be able to get. And the person says, oh, my older brother just, they gave it to me. They just lent it to me. You would look at that again as someone who really wants this thing and say, wow, I've been busting my butt to get this thing. And all this person had to do was just have it fall into their lap. And that's why I bring up the dating website thing. This person didn't have to make any stupid accounts anywhere. They didn't try to get involved with any internet communities. Didn't have to do any of the networking that I've had to bother with for the period of the last couple of years. All they had to do to get a partner was have some random dude they interacted with go up and say, hey, I like you. And then they stayed with that person for years, opened their legs up, crapped out a kid, and now they get to call themselves a parent. I mean, does anyone still not get how insane that is? That you break your behind, compromising and wheeling and dealing. I feel like a damn politician already. You got to go up and negotiate with some chick. Well, I understand that you do not want to have children, but maybe if I pay for the wedding, you can. Then another one. Well, I get where you possibly would not be interested in doing this, but if I am willing to watch it for the most part. Then another one. Well, I definitely comprehend where you're coming from, but maybe we can reach some kind of you have to do all of this jucking and jiving and tap dancing for a bunch of broads, and then a broad only has to meet one person and they get all of it. They get the whole keys to the kingdom, and you're still sitting there at the gate. No effort whatsoever. But I also found out in my last confrontation with them, and I don't speak to them at all. I don't interact with them. The only reason I know new information about them is because people around me mention stuff about them. I found out that they were going to school, which was really laughable, because if you knew how little they took school seriously just a few years ago, it would be like, what the hell? I actually realized I was the only person out of this under 40 generation that really seemed to give a damn about education. So much so that the only reason I didn't graduate was because they price gouged me at the university I went to. This person's actually attending a school that I used to go to, where prices weren't so ridiculous. So they'll probably get, I don't know, an AA, and then they'll call it a day or something else. And look, I don't bemoan someone for seeking education. I said before, if people can go, they should be able to go. I just hate the fact that some school in another state wants 12 grand and I can't afford it. So therefore, I don't care about education. I don't care about trying to make something of myself. And again, you've got to understand this from my perspective. I was only able to get into that university not because I looked pretty or because they heard the way I spoke and was so impressed. No, they saw some grades they liked and let me in. And so after getting in, they asked for some admittedly hefty price tag. Well, the original price was $30,000. It went down to $12,000 with the. I mentioned this before. The grants reduced it to. It was like 4/10 of the price it originally was, and then people refused to budge to pay for it, so I was unable to go. But again, that's after getting in due to my academic performance. And I'm not allowed to be pissed off at it. I'm not allowed to tell these people, the one time I needed some extraneous funds for something that everyone says is so damn important, I got left out to dry. Hung out to dry, rather. No, Ruben, it was 12,000. Trashy college party girls. Let me see if I can read this stuff. Let me see, did I miss anything? It looks like I didn't. And I also was going to mention the thing with these employers, and I've already been over that. when you send out 40, 50 applications and then no one responds, you can call them up, you can do all that, but I can't jump in these people's skin and make them hire me. We've already been over that. That's old news. Um, so I'm not going to rehash it that much. I just wanted to point out the fact that if I don't hear back from the recent batch of, I think it was like 20 applications this week, I'm gonna do a stream about it in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, because that's usually enough time for them to decide if they're serious about someone or not. And I'll just put up, like, which this place said this place didn't say anything, that kind of thing. Just to show you, like, I actually have a whole screenshot from my email where it's like 8 applications stacked on top of each other. Haven't heard anything back yet. It's really lovely. I can see that these places are looking so hard for working people. Instacrap, yeah. Oh, she was on there too, posting all kind of weird pictures. So much so that she made the account private. Now, I spoke a little bit a while ago in my stream yesterday, so a live show last night, about a person who has acted as if they have 3 or 4 different personalities. And I was thinking of giving them a week or 2 to respond back, but I'm just gonna unfriend them because I don't need that. I don't need people who can't decide whether I'm worth speaking to or not. And let me also say this, because I know how I get accused of being so insensitive, and which is laughable, because a lot of this stuff is me trying to acquiesce to someone's petulance. This person talked about being suicidal. Nothing to joke about, nothing funny about that. People are upset over all kinds of things. I've known multiple people who talked about that. The issue here is that even in feeling that myself, that same position or belief, I never wanted to take that out on people who I didn't think had done anything to me. So, for example, imagine if for a week I just became very depressed, right? I would not stop uploading. I would not stop speaking to people that I talk to every day, unless they were, or YouTube itself were directly responsible for me feeling that way. And that's not because I'm some brave person who pushes through everything that comes their way. I just don't believe in someone else having to bear the consequence of me being pissed off over whatever the hell else. Meaning that if Ruben, for example, hasn't made me depressed, I'm not going to stop speaking to him or trying to interact with him or any other person that comes to a stream regularly just because I'm depressed. I was really depressed this week with the room for rent saga, where I was trying to find somewhere that wasn't the place that I've done all my stuff before this week from, as well as the employers not being serious. And all that happened from this week of just stagnation was me making fun of these horny Craigslist people that want some live-in whore. They're like, oh yeah, for 300, as long as you're a female, you can come stay with me. In addition to me making fun of a bunch of employers who, say out of one mouth that they want to hire somebody, and then out of the other one that they don't. Or rather, through their actions, show that they don't by, not calling, responding, doing any of the usual stuff. I didn't, take it out on anyone that was on here, because like I said, I'm not stupid. So I know I'm someone who doesn't have that much support, which is why I didn't tell off when I left on Tuesday any of the people that lived where I live, so I can come back anytime I want to. I think ahead. One of my few good traits. I have some basic level of foresight. Did somebody write something? Let me look at this. A lot of looking what you're looking for. When a dude gives up, he becomes a gamer. When it gives up, she seeks the wrong attention on social media. Well, actually, that's why I brought up this person. The one that I was debating, getting rid of, and I'm just going to get rid of after this anyway. you have an individual, and this is why I don't understand chicks. I fundamentally do not get them whatsoever. I'm not even gonna. I've never pretended I did, uh, but it's like a new level of insanity. You say to this man, referring to myself, that you find them physically attractive, you think they're smart, you're entertained by them, and so the man says, "Well, then why can't anything happen?" And you go, "Well, I'm just not attracted to you." Imagine me, right? After years of having struggles with broads that are not serious, that don't try to do anything, I meet some chick and I say that she's amusing and beautiful and very intellectual. And then she says, "Well, why don't you do anything? Why don't we go on a date?" I go, "Well, I don't find you attractive enough to want to do that. Or rather, I don't feel a romantic attraction to you." You would think I'm crazy. You would say, "What the hell is wrong with you?" You probably would think I was on some kind of brain melting drug. And you'd be right to think that. Unless there's either two options. I'm lying about all that positive stuff I'm saying about that person, or I'm an idiot. So if we don't want to call her an idiot, we can call her a liar, which I'm more likely to believe because, like I said, I don't like people oftentimes mistake men who want to get with someone for being mostly upset over some chick that they see at the mall that they go, "Hey, can I get your number?" And she says no, and he's like, "Oh no, no, that's run of the mill because most people that you approach are not going to accept anyway. It's just an unfortunate reality of how this goes. The people I get the most pissed off over, the ones that made me say screw it and never approach again, to where the only time I talk to broads or when they come on my stuff or try to interact with me, are ones that seem to indicate some interest. Let's see, these hard to get chicks are the ones who will end up more lonely and bitter than anyone else. Well, yeah, but my point is, you know, me going to some store and going up to some broad and going, "Can I get your number?" And her saying no that's whatever. We're talking about stuff that makes you say, "This is ridiculous. I'm not going to bother with them anymore. They are a waste of time. They're idiots. They have no brains." That position comes from meeting chicks who do exactly what this person did a few weeks ago, who gas you up with all this nice talk. "Oh, I find you so attractive. Oh, I think you are so handsome. Oh, you are very intelligent." And then you ask, "Okay, well then why can nothing start?" "Well, I'm just not in a place for it, and I've given up on men entirely." And da 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 da. First, they tried to say this individual tried to say that she had quit people entirely, and we found out that was not true. She told on herself. So very, very, very brilliant deduction by her. But this is the kind of stuff that made me say screw it. It wasn't going and getting turned down by random chicks at stores. It was talking to one or two for some ungodly period of time, a month or whatever. And then after they indicate interest in no unclear terms, this is not some random person smiling at you one time while you walk down the street. We're talking about broads who will gas you up with compliments. And I'm like, okay, what the hell else would signify that that person is interested other than that? Like, imagine if I did a stream one day, right, and I had some broad in here, and I said, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful, and you're so smart, and you're so intelligent," which I just use the same term, smart. They fall under the same umbrella, but I'm saying all this positive stuff, but I would instantly get accused, especially by males that were watching this, of trying to flirt with that person or hit on them. And you're not out of your mind to think that. I'm simply saying that when you have a scenario like that, you kind of sit here and scratch your head and say, "What the hell else was I supposed to think when you did this?" Then they do the 180 run for the bomb shelter. Yeah, they flip on you in a few seconds. VVS in here trying to have me roll out the red carpet. Yeah, I don't have it with me today. I'm in a different location. No, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. And then this person, like, she's so lucky I don't have Google Hangouts right now on this phone. I would put up the message. When we spoke, it was, I believe, a Monday. She said, I will interact with you again, or not interact, but we will speak again Thursday. I said, all right, cool. And I was kind of disappointed because we had a call that was hours long before this, and this one was only like 20 minutes or something. But again, I didn't express this because I can possibly get that later on in the week or at some other point. Now, within 10 minutes of me hanging up with this person, again, seemingly cordial, we've scheduled to speak again that week, I see a big novel-like comment that is this large on my screen that says something along the lines of, you're a disgusting person. Try to contact me and my friends again. I dare you, with profanity intermixed in there. I didn't want to hurt your fragile ego. And I'm looking at this message and I'm like, what the hell is this? Because I've never interacted with it. I don't interact with any of these people's friends. I try to keep that strictly, their whole group and category of people, they can have that stuff. I don't get involved with it. But I leave it there. I noticed that she hasn't unfriended me, so I think maybe it's sent by accident. So I go to sleep that night. I wake up. It's been deleted. I screenshot it because, I'm going to ask, what the hell is this? But it's been deleted, and then she sent some other stuff throughout the night that I don't have the images of, unfortunately. And I send it to her. I go, why did you send this? Been online, no response. Now, someone please explain to me if, let's say, you and I are interacting, and I say, oh, we're going to speak in 3 days. Again, cordial conclusion. Minutes later, go to hell, you piece of garbage. If I then delete that message and you screenshot it and ask me, what is this? Do I not owe an explanation? Doesn't have to be some novel. I could just say, hey, I sent this by accident, which is why I got rid of it after I saw it. Or I don't know, I was upset with someone else and this slipped in here. Just any basic form of acknowledgement. But this person refused to do that. Instead, they disappear for another week, which they did before. And this is all over the span of like a month. Let's see. I'm stepping into the sometimes would rather date a thug because they feel they are not good enough and are scared of being a disappointment. Well, they're a disappointment when they do stuff like this. And I even had this conversation with this individual because they were speaking this. That's why I said all this stuff about confidence is a bunch of trash. This person spoke disparagingly about themselves, talked about using drugs and all this. And I said, look, that has nothing to do with me, and your use of these, different substances does not impede our ability to have a meaningful and, from my perspective, enjoyable dialogue. But again, because I don't have 90 different little boxes that people have to check off, it's a lot easier for me to say that than someone who is sitting over there going, I suck so much, but you are also not worth my time, so goodbye. I mean, this person said, they came to me, and in a span of a month, they go from, because I said I don't want to be friend zoned after they decline my, whatever, the whole, how the rundown is. You speak to one of them, they send signals, and they go, oh, no, you thought I was going to get with you? No. They tell me that, oh, we should still speak and be friends because we both like each other still. It makes a lot of sense. Not even 2 weeks later. Well, I've sat back and thought about it, and I think I'm probably not going to speak to you. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? This whole stupid interaction was your idea. And you don't want to do it anymore because you've now sat back in your little chair and thought about how this is not a constructive way for things to. It's like, what? And again, you can't even interact with them about this because right after this last interaction, they send that little weird message, then they disappear for a week or however long it's going to be before they decide to send something. Well, look, I'm just going to do it like this. I don't want to speak to them anymore. I don't want to speak to any additional chicks at this point ever again. Because every single time I speak to them, whether they come to me or I come to them, this same saga plays out. They sit there and gas you up and talk about how great you are. And then a few weeks later, they're writing you a Dear John letter about, well, I have sat back and concluded that this would not be in the best interest of yourself. Or I'm like, man, quit lying. You're just being a lazy little individual out of whatever state you're in that doesn't want to actually try anything new. So that, it's, and this is the same person who, by the way, even said, and this should show you how insane this is, even said that I was more physically attractive than a person they were with for months. Like, that's crazy. Who the hell would make a comment like that and then be like, but on the other hand, I'm still not going to try to do anything with you? Like, that makes no sense. And again, I'm having to deal with this year after year while I watch this stupid broad I've mentioned here with the kid have a relationship that lasts several years, never have to go on any of these stupid websites, never have to sit here and debate and talk to 30 and 40 different dudes, even have 30 and 40 different dudes try to message her on social media. And I'm just sitting here like, what the hell? How does the person that gave no effort get everything and the one that gave effort gets nothing? Like, that's insane. And, I'm also going to throw this in here because it's along the same lines of this stuff. I signed up on an art website last year as a social experiment because I wanted to see if the people on the site were, because a lot of times I get accused of looking at something versus actually trying to get involved with it. So I've made this comment before about YouTube as well, where there's like a couple of people at the top who get bigger, 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 and the rest of us are like these little ants digging around trying to get some views. Like Secular Talk, for example, they're going to get 200,000 subs next year, and I'll be lucky to get 20. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. But I go on this website, and they've got a type of artist on there. I'm not going to say what the profession is, but I do some art like that. And, I've got people thumbing my stuff up. They're responding very favorably. But I keep noticing that when I give them the option to, because, you have commissions where people will ask for you to draw something for them. It's like crickets. And I go on the pages of about 5 or 6. Let's see, you're lucky if Secular Talk even reads your super chat questions. Well, that's the thing. I thought that when I made the channel more interactive by doing streams, you would actually see people try to be receptive to that. And instead, it's like the same result over and over again. So I just said, screw it. But I go on this website and I watch about 4 or 5 different accounts. These people have millions of views on their pages. They're really popular. And every time I go in their comment section, there's someone saying, hey man, can I commission you for a new picture? And they'll say no. Sometimes they'll say they're full. Sometimes they'll say they just don't want to do it. That's all within their right. And they, as one person can only do so much. But I thought to myself, I said, how the hell do they have all these people trying to get all up on this one particular artist or these 5 people? And then you've got myself and maybe 40, 50, 60 other people running around, and we can't get anyone to commission us for like, this isn't a donation. This is something they want that they just will not try to get you to do for them because they'd rather wait around for the same little Justice League group of people to do the stuff. I mean, that's why I said the same group of people, whether it's the chicks with the romance stuff or it's the big YouTubers with this subscriber and view count thing, they just go up and up and up, and you sit here giving all this effort, putting up content, and it doesn't even matter. And, I've had one person on last Saturday's stream, the Saturday before this Saturday, and they said, oh, you sound defeatist. I said, no. Me saying that the chick stuff is rigged and me quitting it, is only valid because I guess theoretically lessens the chance of me getting with anyone. But if I didn't get with anyone when I approached, and when I seem to have reciprocated people who claimed they were interested because they then put up, 80 different reasons why they can't get with you, it's kind of like, what difference does it make? Like, on paper, it sounds worse, but it was the same result even when you did go and try and, talk to a bunch of the clowns. Uh, but I can disparage the work environment in my state and say, all of these places are not looking to hire anybody. And if I keep applying and showing up for these interviews and, smiling in their face like they do me, and then, doing the stuff to where it would appear that I think there's still a chance of being able to get something out here, then what difference does it make if I say to myself, yeah, this probably isn't going to be any different? That's why I told you, people don't want to look at the actual circumstances. They'd rather take the person and their mentality and try to use that to blame for any crappy thing that occurs to them or around them. Like, if I think this chick is not going to accept me or date me or whatever, she suddenly becomes Professor X. She's like, I can predict that Justin does not believe I am going to date him. Looks like I'll validate his request or his belief. They actually think that. If I go and apply to and in the case of one of them, I literally applied to 8 different stores this week, haven't heard anything back. But if I go out and apply to those places and I say, you know what, because all the ones before didn't respond back, or very few of them responded back, this place, I probably won't hear back from them. All those managers, all those different stores are like, we just heard that all of the places that he applied to, he didn't hear back from. All right, let's be part of the same stupid system. If I say that schools price gouge someone by asking a person who's only been out of high school for 2 years for $30,000 to just give them, and I go and work somewhere else, and then I'm sitting over here trying to apply, and they're gonna be like, oh, we just found out that he got price gouged at going to school before. Time to jack up our prices. They will just always blame the one person trying to make any of this trash work for this stuff. Lower my standards. Lower my standards. Sir, we're already at the bottom of the barrel. Like, hey, people don't hear what I say. I'm just going to shut up. I might as well not even speak. I described being attracted to a blind chick. I described being attracted to a broad who does a bunch of drugs that I would never touch with a 10-foot pole. What lower standard could I have? And when the hell are they going to lower their standards? I mean, I just described to you, whoever wrote that comment, a circumstance where you have a person who says, I think you are physically attractive, you're smart, and you're funny, and I'm still not going to do anything with you. Like how? What retort is there to that? Like, if you can check off that many boxes for someone and they still say no, what the hell else? Like, what can you do? I'm waiting for an answer. I don't think he's going to write anything back. I think that was just people typing stuff to type stuff. Hey, Envoy, I thought you liked the romance stuff. That was your favorite topic. This is like your little Christmas present. I got blowed off last week. Higher, low standard doesn't matter as a man. I mean, with this chick that as a kid, I don't think she's pretty. I don't think she's smart. And I don't find her amusing at all. But she was still able to get with someone because that other person either thought all of those traits were something she had, or she just didn't have to appeal that much to, didn't have to jump through the same number of hoops. I told you a lot of the people who are adamant against my position, like, don't want to accept the fact that it's like a 1 to 10 ratio of a dude being able to get. And then, you know what? For every one time a guy's able to get with a chick, there's like 80 or 90 instances of broads being able to get with a guy. Oh, where did Ruben go? I hope I didn't make him leave by talking about this stuff. I just don't get it, man. As if aren't interested, just don't bother. All I hear about guys who've had issues with girls for years, maybe the issue is the guy. Let's see. All right, good. Ruben, I hope you're not upset. Yeah, the guy has to. I mean, like, I might as well just go to the insane asylum at this point. I'm gonna have a little card. Hey, we're looking for chicks, and we'll take any broad and anyone. Hashtag believe all. Yeah, believe all liars. Yeah, I'm gonna come out in 30 years and say some. Imagine if I came out in 30 years and said some famous woman touched me. Everybody would be laughing and saying I was lying, and I'd probably get sued, even if it was true. But again, because we all think that every single broad is so valuable and all the men are trying to do something to get around her, because we don't have a bunch of other people with the exact same sexual organs walking around, which is why you have a gender. They automatically get believed as being so helpless, even when the females didn't have to at all in any way and pretty much get at someone easily without investing any effort or looking for someone. Yeah, she didn't have to look for anybody. Okay, 99 out of 100 women have gotten harassed by men in college. Well, that's I don't disbelieve that, but I'm not. I already told you my thing is I don't bother these people. Like with this chick that had the kid, I'm upset because that was something I wanted to do and had to jump through a bunch of hoops to still not get while they were able to get it. But I don't send her any message or try to screw with this person at all because they're going to be their own downfall. More than 50, I'm just talking specifically the overweight women. I don't pursue women anymore. Yeah. Well, this wasn't even me pursuing someone. This was someone coming over to me claiming to be interested and then, doing a 360 or saying, oh, well, you didn't exactly get it right because it wasn't correct in the way in which you described it. And I was just sitting here like, what the hell do they want? Like, you just had a broad come up and say, you are attractive, you are smart, you are funny. Do I need to get a red cape or something? Jesus Christ. That's why I said these people don't know what they want. But I'm gonna take back what I said before about chicks. I had said that there was a little small group of them who know what they want. If there's a small group, it's a slither. It's like if you have a white T-shirt and then you get like a marker and you poke a little dot on there or something. That's the ratio. Jesus Christ, it makes no sense. And again, I have to watch someone who didn't have to do any of this stuff walk around with what I want. Yeah, almost like a 1 in a million at this point, like literally speaking. Yeah. A broad who stayed with the man that beat her so bad that they thought he was trying to kill her is the role model for the new strong woman of today. What a great person to pick. Now, even as I said, that doesn't mean she doesn't make good music or what. But you can like an artist's music without trying to celebrate them and talk about how great they are and all that. Oh my God. Yeah, like does VVS have to be a millionaire to get with a woman? Their music is horrible too, like all top 40 music. I'm just saying if because someone will think I'm attacking the music by saying that okay, but Envoy, if someone is improving themselves, just like for example, I have no ambition to be rich. I just want to be comfortable enough to take care of myself and, not have to worry about seeking out assistance and whatever. So when I then say, screw, you know, just being kept together financially so that I can impress some chick, then what exactly do I stand for? Like, if everything I do is determined or changed based on what I think a chick might find attractive, then what's the point of saying any of it is my goal? I told you, I never see these people have to compromise or do anything other than sit back and waste your time talking to them. I got accused of being misogynist because I too said she is a terrible role model for females. I mean, I don't get why they even want to look up to her, but whatever. People do all kind of weird stuff. I'm saying this as general life advice. Maybe that's the issue with guys nowadays. They do things to impress women. You should improve yourself for you, not women. It's that simple. Yeah, I'm not trying to accuse you of being one of the people that, like the used car salesman. Oh, we'll just do this and some woman will magically appear. It's gonna be like Yu-Gi-Oh! We got the dark magician showing up. You've improved yourself so much. Here's a woman. God, I just, it isn't right. And I do laugh at a lot of this stuff because of how stupid it is, but we're talking about a man going on multiple social media websites, having to speak to, I don't even know how many chicks anymore. And in the midst of doing this, getting accused of being gay, being accused of quitting too early after years of speaking to them, being accused of not knowing what he wants, even after he meets multiple people that he's completely fine with settling down with. Like, that's why I started living in the Twilight Zone, because I've never watched a person ad nauseum just year after year do something and then they get blamed for when it doesn't work as they try to make it work and the other person goes out of their way to screw it up. Really accuse you? It sounds like it happens. Not often, but it's like I did an upload about this. I'm gonna put it up this week, just in reference to this. But I had one person who did it last year and then this past weekend, or this weekend rather. And I said, look, I'm willing to show you the dozens of archived conversations I have with chicks that document a romantic attraction of these people and them saying no, and the person refused to see it. It's like they pride themselves on being ignorant. So they would rather sit there and accuse me of something that can literally be disproved based off these messages than see the stuff that goes against their narrative, which is that if you're not chasing a broad every 5 seconds, you must be attracted to men. Again, when I think of homosexual activity, I picture a man making out with another man, holding hands with another dude. Not a guy sitting on the computer or some other website talking about this stuff. I mean, they're dumb enough to ask something like that. I just don't get the point of like trying to tell me as I watch people who've done nothing to improve themselves. Like, I'm watching a broke broad have a kid while getting told online, you need to have a bigger bank account and you need to have a degree and you need to go and appeal to these women by acting confident. Like, what the hell do you call this broad? Oh. Hey, do I need to mention the message where the guy said, "Do you take responsibility for not getting with the woman?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm very responsible for them not knowing what they want, to where they waste months of multiple men's lives pretending to be interested. I'm very responsible for them screwing men that have no interest in having a child, and then when one comes along that's willing to do it, they start talking about not being interested in doing it at all. Guilty as charged. All my fault." No, Envoy's been on here for a year. I doubt that. No skills or hustle, have kids, while I have all this passive income and hobbies, and we can't even get a date. Yeah, and I kept saying you have to do all this stuff just to get a date. Damn, he made Envoy mad. That's the first time I think one of the mods has ever actually like gotten rid of someone before. Trying to question his moral character. If he's mad at someone, it wasn't me. He can see it on the screen. I didn't do that. Let's see. Who said you have to go on a date? Oh Lord, what world do you live in? Not end of or be all. I mean, I didn't say it was CK. I was just annoyed that you have to keep sitting here and like acquiescing to the petulance of people who haven't even done anything. Like, imagine if you were a woman and you went outside and someone said that Justin character, he likes a broad who weighs under, I don't know, 160 pounds or something. So you must go to the gym and lose weight right away. Or it's like, oh, that VVS person, he is very attracted to chicks with brown hair. Time to go dye your hair. It's like, what did we do to where you have to so especially appeal to us? Did we win an award? Did we cure cancer? Like, what the hell? I mean, I thought the point of having all these different chicks walking around along with these different dudes is that there are people who have specific likes and dislikes. So when I have someone who tells me, go sit up in the gym all year long just to get with the broad, I'm supposed to believe that there isn't a single one in the whole state of California or the United States of America that is all right with my weight or whatever I look like and all that. Even when I have proof that there are multiple ones who out of their own mouths, isn't something I'm making up, said they were content with how I looked. Like, they're literally admitting they're all the same when they say that. I don't like you or not, all the game stuff is outdated. No, VVS, if you just pop out your collar like Dracula and you go around and you try to, split verbs every 2 seconds, you'll be able to get with someone down pat. That's what they believe. Again, you didn't see that chick that had that kid doing that. Wait, human said resume? I don't want to make even more ridiculous claims to back these people. I would say there are technologies that can work, but when guys try and get you to sign up to these programs online, that's when I call BS. Justin, we just got to put on cologne and be assertive, and our dry spell will magically end, even though we've tried this for years already. Yeah, Mesmero from X-Men is going to show up and be like, you now are wearing enter deodorant here. I summon woman. I think it's a good thing you didn't get involved with her. I left a comment about, VVS, I would say there are, I think I already read your comment. Oh, to be honest, I'm glad you didn't get involved in that brought with the kid. That single mother drama is a whole entire issue in of itself. You dodged the bullet. No, no, I'm not involved. I would never be involved with the person. I'm saying that I have been critical of them without specifying to them what my problem is with what they're doing, because I know what I have to say is the only difference it's going to make is me getting cursed out for telling the truth, which is that they had a kid they can't afford. I'm someone who planned to have one but couldn't get a partner because all these chicks are selective as hell, to where even ones who say you're attractive in all these different categories still decline to do anything with you. And all these people who just a few months ago were talking about how stupid this person was for doing this now get to walk around and act like they're friendly to this person. Like that stuff is crazy to me. But again, all it's going to do is cause drama, and I don't like conflict, which is why I avoid interacting with this person. And CK, I've been asked this question about 10 times. I'll answer it again. I'm 6'2". I am the same height as, let's see, Clinton, the older Bush, Chester Arthur, Ted Kennedy, a whole bunch of people. I told 3 this year that I wanted to, and they blew me off. And no, I did not over text or any of that simp stuff. I mean, they're gonna find a way to blame you for pretty much any issue with chicks. I literally had a broad who said, I will not speak to you outside of texting ever, just at all. And I mentioned this to Lady Lacking Logic, and she's like, well, maybe she meant that she wasn't ready yet. I'm like, idiot clown, I literally have the message on Reddit still archived where she said, I do not want to speak to you outside of, oh my, like, what the hell? Talk unless I wouldn't even, oh, I didn't. No. Envoy, that was it. That was the last message that she sent me, because I got up, I said, no, this is unnecessary. What were your exact words? I said, so this is my way or the highway, either before or after that. And then she said, I don't want to speak to you unless it's through text. Let's see. For the 99th time, human. I'm about to put human 2.1 in here just to mess with him. I'm going to have somebody make an account with that name. I said I wanted to have a kid with a couple of these chicks, not the one I mentioned here. That one actually out of nowhere brought up that they hate children for some reason. So I was really aggravated when I saw a broad, being this person that I mentioned at the start of the stream, have one without any financial planning, any real sense of just like nothing, man. Like you're talking about a broad that didn't have $1 in her pocket, but because she has according to a good chunk of people, somewhat pretty face, she can get away with having nothing. 21. Oh, I can't wait for the comment. But you're too young. Didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. We have not the sharpest tools in the shed nor the brightest bulb in the tree. Let's see. Ruben said, try dating a very religious chick. I did, man. Same result. Man, Ruben hasn't left any comments. I'm sorry, Ruben. I starved you. Don't worry. Tomorrow, no, wait, damn. I'm going to be at that place tomorrow. Maybe at 6 or 7 tomorrow night I can do something political. We can have like 2 people in there. Have you tried women in the church? I mean, it's worth a shot. Sir, I have gone to malls. I have gone to schools. I have gone to schools I attended, mind you. the internet, all these different places, and it has been a complete dry spell. Or rather, when you do get someone who responds for a while, you get the inevitable uh, "I'm not interested" message, and then that's when you stop speaking to that person. Like the reason the Lady Lack and Logic lasted as long as she did, the 11-month thing, was because I literally said, "Here's an attractive chick that I'm going to not indicate romantic interest in at all, like whatsoever." And I didn't ask her on a date until literally the last phone call we ever had. Tried my neighbor. I got so many opportunities for me past year. I'm leaving women alone all 2020. I mean, again, I'm from this point forward, if any of them send me a message saying, uh, "Dear Justin, I watched your video and heard of your suffering, and I have come to relieve you of your duties," I'm gonna look at that message, close it out, and walk away from my computer and probably laugh. I've been called too nerdy for women because I can speak with a decent amount of, dictation. Yeah, again, they find and it's like, do you really believe that no one who was into politics was ever able to get with someone? Like, how the hell do all these different presidents and governors and senators and hell, members of the court, Supreme Court and lower courts, have a spouse? If well, you are very nerdy and not into things that women would ever be attracted to. I've spoken to bras. This the one that I talked about in this, that like will just leave after every couple of weeks, is into politics. It doesn't matter. I used to speak to a broad who drew. Me and her would talk about drawing. Still nothing. I see all these women you guys meet. I don't meet who are this bad. I've met some very and toxic women. Look for one and everything for someone not to work. Like I said earlier this year, birth rates dropping. Half of millennials are single. That prove this is supposed to be men's fault. Yeah. I don't know if you remember VVS, the video I did about the if you have more than 10-second convo with the female friend zone. Oh yeah. And I tried to explain to this broad, the friend zone disgusts me because you just said this guy didn't look for work. He was uglier than I am. All this negative stuff, right? But he's allowed to date you, person who you say is inferior to me, but I'm not. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Just use basic reasoning. The person who's uglier, who doesn't try to do anything with themselves, can get with you, but I'm not. I'm not good enough. I missed the mark. Oh, I told you, Envoy. They love it. This is like candy. That's why I said this is the Christmas gift, because all the new romance stuff goes on Patreon. Yeah, where's JMO? Where'd he go? The women I meet are on Instagram. Well, have fun with them. Envoy says, you have some bad luck with women, man. Damn. I mean, look, I can respect ones that you see at a mall or some store. You go up and you say, "How you doing? My name is blah 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 blah," and they go, "No, thank you. All right, it's settled. We know what they don't want. You don't have to worry about that person." But as far as, hey, let's talk for a month so I can announce in a 2-hour call that I'm not interested in you, even though I think you're attractive and intelligent, and it's like, get the hell out of here. Like, you should have seen my face when I sat on that phone with her and she like gassed me up with all these compliments just to say she wasn't interested. It's like, you're not even making sense. Oh, I told you, if I ever get on here and I say, I think this woman is attractive and smart and funny, but I'm not going to date them. I need to go to an insane asylum. Like, who the hell can check off all those boxes and then you still go, well, you don't exactly fit the bill of what I am looking for. I am not looking for anyone else. So even though you are all of what I want, no, thank you. What? Oh. No, man, that was unforgivable. It's time to be serious. I've been poking too much. But yeah, I want to give Ruben a shout out. He was I think one of like 2 people that tried to assist me in my hour of need, which was earlier this week. So while everybody else disappeared and hid in a bomb shelter and vanished, he was the one of the few people that was out there standing. I wanted to thank him again. So that's why he gets such a large say in what I put out. I just did this stream because I was pissed off over seeing that person again. Like it really makes my blood boil to watch a chick who didn't have to jump through any hoops get to walk around with their baby. Ooh, look at my kid. Ooh. And then someone that wants that and was willing to compromise and do all this stupid stuff with these chicks has nothing. Who is looking forward to the Final Fantasy VII remake? It's probably going to be trash. Yeah, I think the last one of those I played was 13. I don't know why they're even remaking the game. There's actually a commentator who said, why would I play a remake when I can just play the original? I thought that was a good point. Thought it made a lot of sense. You know, it doesn't make any sense how you can have 20 people in here and only, 4, 8, 12, 6, only a fifth of them click the like button. That's insane. But, people do things that don't make sense all the time. I expect them to do things that don't add up to me. People talking about it. Yeah, they've mentioned it before. Ever thought about creating a video game? I'd have to be more familiar with the technology. I have basic concept. I guess to answer that question, yes, but to actually do it, I need the software and more experience with how they're set up. So that's the answer to that question. Yeah. In conclusion, I'm tired of it. You get blamed for so much stuff that just, like, I can get if maybe I didn't file my taxes or, I don't know. I decided I'm not going to upload today because those are things I can do as an individual without the consent of someone else. Even though, again, I would say that when it comes to uploading, a lot of times it's where I am and the Wi-Fi is acting terrible. But when you're talking about dating someone or working somewhere, there's always that second person that has to do the okay to get something to go. Yeah, my 30s. Oh, that's the same thing that broad said. I asked, when is this end? Maybe 5, 10, or 15 years. Said, look, if you think I'm gonna wait 5, 10, or 15 years so that some random hooligan with long hair can show up and claim they're interested just like they're doing now, and I believe them, you must be, like, whatever thing you smoke, if she did smoke, it must have a really mesmerizing effect on you. Let me see, who wrote something? Oh my God, my whole hand took over the screen. Yeah. Tell me about the magical year when this ends. Oh, Envoy, I know, that's, it's like candy. But I told you that's why I don't bother with these groups. Like I don't sit on any of these forums. I rarely talk to. Usually, the only people I speak about the chick stuff with is other people who've had the same experience. Seventh day. This is. I told you that's the thing. I don't like the sometimey nature of the romance people. They show up for this, and if you talk about anything else, where's Waldo? Where'd they go? So, Again, I was just upset over the stupidity of these broads, because I don't get how I can keep doing all this stuff and get called lazy, get taught on what I want, and like they don't have to do anything ever other than sit there. And again, the road to redemption for this chick, based off of what I told you about these people, was was doing this. Look at me open my legs and spit out a child and do something that millions of other broads have done before me. Now you must be nice to me and we are all friends again. Like that was the road to redemption for this person. They went from being a pariah for a couple of months to now being able to just walk around, oh, look at me, say to me. Like, what sense does that make? Like imagine you do something that your parents or I don't know, your contemporaries of the same age think was really dumb, a waste of time, is going to destroy your life. And the road to redemption isn't trying to undo that, apologizing for what you've done, and then attempting to rectify the circumstance and work with these people to get their approval. It is literally, oh, the baby is now out. You can now be forgiven for all of your past transgressions. Of course, adoption is the only method because all the different chicks are pretty much doing the exact same thing. Like, they're just not making any sense, man. But like I said, I live in the twilight zone, so I'll keep getting blamed for things that I don't have full control over because that's how people do. Thanks to those who showed up, and maybe if I click my heels, you'll show up for something that's not romantic. I don't know. One can only hope. I'll probably stream tomorrow as well around maybe 5 or 6 o'clock. I've got something I gotta do. So thanks. The most blamed man of all time will now